Here's a really easy way to make paper bag snowflakes. First, you need paper bags. 8 of them is kind of our magic number for making these snowflakes. We've tried 7 and 9. In this first pattern, 8 works great. You also are going to need a ruler. It's kind of handy. Sometimes you might need a hole punch if you want to do a different pattern, a pen, a large pair of scissors, and a stapler. Of course, you need a glue stick, some kind of glue. White glue would work, tacky glue would work, hot glue would work. We found that the glue stick is really easy because it dries quickly and it's easy to manage. You want to put the flap side of the lunch sacks down, and then we're going to stack them all on top of each other. Next, you're going to apply the glue in a T-shaped pattern. Just be rough, you don't have to be exact, but go across the bottom, or the top you might say, and down the middle, and then stack them up. Push down where the glue is, align the edges really carefully. I like to be liberal with the glue, maybe go back and forth across the T shape 2 or 3 times. Continue to stack with all the flaps facing down in the same direction. Line up your edges and do this with all 8 of the paper bags. We did find that a fresh glue stick works the best. When you get to the last one, don't put glue on top of it. Leave it clean. The next thing we're going to do is make our pattern that will cut out so that when it opens up, it looks like a snowflake. You want to use the open side of the lunch sacks to cut against. Don't cut into the flap side if you can. I think you can just kind of eyeball some lines. I find it's easier to use a ruler to at least make it a little bit similar on each side. This is pattern number 1. I'm going to call the arrow. You can make it a point at the very end, but I like it kind of soft. On the sides, you might want to do little triangle shapes or U shapes, just like I've drawn here. And then you're going to use your large scissor to cut through all the layers. This part might be a little tricky for the youngest kids, but you can see how it opens freely after we cut the ends that do not have the flaps. So go ahead and cut everything out. It could be really simple like this, and it will end up looking just beautiful in the end. Clear away the scraps, recycle them, use them for another project, whatever you like to do. And then if you want to open it up to preview how your snowflake's going to look, that is really fun to do. Looks fabulous. Now, in order to keep it open, we're gonna do that last bit of glue. So find your side that doesn't have the flaps, do that T pattern of gluing again with your glue stick. And then as I open this out, I like to feed my hands up through those 2 paper bags that will meet in order to keep the snowflake open. And you just press that glue together. With a glue stick, it dries pretty quickly, but this is where we're going to use a stapler to just finish it off and make it really strong. I like to staple all of the places where 2 paper bags meet. And if you put your stapler in as far as possible, then it kind of hides the staples. Of course, sometimes tools are going to malfunction and you're going to have to get a new one, no problem. Staple all of the junction points, and when you get to that first one that you stapled, you're done. And in order to find a way to hang it, we're going to add 2 staples near the top for strength so that when we put our hanger on it, it's not pulling through the paper, but instead pulling on the metal of the staple. I think a paper clip could be an easy way to make a hook. Just poke it right through the paper below the staples so that it ends up pulling on that sturdy metal. And then you have a little hook to hang it from. And your paper bag snowflake is done with this pattern. It looks fabulous. You can fluff it out a little bit. You can staple inside the edges if you need to hold it together a little bit better through those holes. Here's what it looks like when it's all hung up. We experimented with some different patterns. This one uses hole punches to put some holes in it. I think it looks like a beautiful Nordic star. In this case, we used 7 bags, and you can see it really stretched. Here's where we cut through the edges by mistake of the paper bags, and so we have some gaps and holes. Another thing we learned was when we did some of the more dainty patterns, this is pattern number 3 in this video, it didn't have a lot of strength and structure on its edges to hold together. We also used 9 paper bags here, and you can see it just maybe was too many. So you can make variations on these, but we tried a bunch of different things, and as you go through trying these, this was the easiest way that we found to make paper bag snowflakes. If you want a more advanced dainty version, here's the pattern for doing it, and I can show you how we drew it out on our paper bags. Use a ruler straight down the middle, measure down 3 inches and draw a line at a diagonal. Trace it on both sides of the ruler, and then add your lines for slits. You can see I made a mistake and I added a line on the up direction instead of the bottom direction of my ruler lines, and so I'll make that correction and put the line here for cutting, and you can see now I have my pattern. We make mistakes. Sometimes we fix them, sometimes they just work out. Here's what it looks like when I cut out the slits for pattern number 3. This is sort of more advanced. I used 7 bags for this, and it was much better than the 9, as you can see. Enjoy!